Have you ever known someone who never posts anything about their life online? No birthday pictures, no relationship updates, no food shots, not even a good morning story. It's almost as if they don't exist on social media at all, yet they're quietly there, scrolling, reading, observing. Or maybe that person is you. You don't feel the need to share what you're doing, where you're going, or how you're feeling. You prefer your private moments to remain untouched by public eyes. And sometimes people don't understand that. They might think you're hiding something, or that you're distant, or simply not social enough. But is that really true? What's behind the psychology of people who choose not to post their lives online? Let's explore both sides, not to judge, but to understand. Because, as always, there's more to silence than meets the eye. For some people, staying silent online is not about secrecy, it's about peace. They have learned that not everything beautiful needs to be seen, and not every moment needs an audience. These are the people who value privacy as protection. They might have learned, through experience, that the more they expose, the more they feel vulnerable to opinions, judgments, or comparisons. Maybe they posted something personal once and it came back to hurt them. Or maybe they simply realized that sharing doesn't always equal connection. Sometimes it brings emptiness instead. In a world where everyone seems to measure their worth by likes and views, their silence becomes a quiet rebellion. It's not that they don't care, it's that they've found meaning in not performing. They live their lives without feeling the urge to prove it. They take photos just to remember the moment, not to post it. They travel without telling the internet where they are. They fall in love quietly, heal privately, and find joy in knowing that life can still be real even when it's not online. Psychologically, these people often value autonomy and authenticity. They're not against social media, they just want their sense of self to remain independent from it. They want to experience life directly, not through the reflection of other people's screens. For some, it's about emotional safety. Social media can be overwhelming. A constant stream of filtered lives, success stories, and endless opinions. Choosing not to share becomes a form of emotional boundary. It's a way of saying, this is mine. This moment belongs to me. Their silence in this way is not emptiness, it's depth. It's the kind of quiet that holds meaning, like the pause between musical notes that makes the melody more beautiful. But on the other hand, there are those who see life as something meant to be shared, who find joy in connecting through the moments they post. For them, social media is not about validation, it's about expression. It's their way of saying, I'm here. This is what my life feels like. When they post a photo of a sunset or a cup of coffee, they're not showing off. They're simply sharing a moment that made them smile. When they post about their struggles, it's not attention-seeking. It's a way to feel less alone, to say, I'm human too. For them, posting is a bridge, a way to reach others who might be feeling the same thing. They use the digital world to create warmth in a cold space. To them, silence can sometimes feel like disconnection, while sharing feels like belonging. And that's the beauty of human diversity. Some people connect through sharing, while others connect through silence. Neither is wrong. Both are simply ways of saying, I'm trying to make sense of this life in the way that feels safe to me. So, why do some people stay completely offline or never post at all? Sometimes it comes from past pain. Maybe they've been judged, misunderstood, or betrayed online. Maybe they've seen how something small they shared turned into gossip. and they decided never again. Other times, it's about control. When life feels uncertain, being private gives a sense of stability. They can choose what the world sees or doesn't see, and that's empowering. And sometimes it's simply personality. Introverts, for example, often recharge through solitude. Sharing personal updates feels draining because it requires emotional exposure. They prefer meaningful one-on-one conversations to public broadcasts. There's also another layer. People who don't post may still observe deeply. They watch how others interact, they feel the mood of the world, they learn silently. They might not comment, but they understand. They might not like a post, but they care. Their quiet doesn't mean indifference, it often means awareness. Now, let's look at the middle ground. Those who sometimes share, sometimes don't. They might post milestones or special moments, but keep the vulnerable parts private. They balance visibility with boundaries. Psychologically, they've developed what's called selective transparency, the ability to decide what deserves to be public and what deserves to stay sacred. In a sense, this balance reflects emotional maturity, because not every silence means withdrawal, and not every post means neediness. The truth is, all of us crave connection. We just seek it in different ways. The deeper question isn't, why don't you post? It's, where do you find your sense of connection and validation? Some people find it in likes and comments, others in late-night talks with a close friend, or in the quiet comfort of journaling. The platform is different, but the desire underneath is the same: to feel seen, understood, and valued. And here's the paradox. Even those who never post often want to be understood. They just don't want to be exposed. They want to be known by heart, not by feed. That's not detachment, that's depth. It means they value intimacy over attention. But yes, sometimes silence can also be a mask. Some people stop sharing not because they're at peace, but because they're hurting. They retreat from the noise because they're overwhelmed, not enlightened. They stop posting not because they don't care, but because they feel like no one truly listens.
This is why understanding, not judging, matters so much. Because behind every quiet profile, there's a story. And behind every story, there's a reason. In today's world where presence is often measured by posts, choosing silence can make a person seem invisible. But invisibility doesn't mean absence. Some of the most grounded, emotionally rich people you'll ever meet are the ones who live their lives off-screen. They don't post their joy, they live it. They don't prove their progress, they embody it. They are not missing out. They're simply tuning in to something more real than applause. And yet, those who share their lives online aren't wrong either. They might inspire someone without realizing it. They might give courage to a stranger just by being open. Their sharing becomes a ripple of connection, one that might heal someone who needed to hear, "You're not alone." So, between the one who shares and the one who stays silent, who is right? The answer is both, because both are simply trying to feel safe in their own way. If you're someone who doesn't post, that's perfectly okay. Your life doesn't need to be documented to be meaningful. You don't need validation to know that your experiences matter. The quiet way you move through life might just be your form of authenticity, your way of protecting what's sacred to you. But if you're someone who loves sharing, that's beautiful too. You're allowing others to see pieces of your world, and maybe even helping them feel less alone in theirs. Just remember, your worth isn't measured by engagement. Share because it fills you, not because it defines you. Ultimately, the psychology of those who don't post and those who do comes down to the same truth. We all just want to be understood without losing ourselves. Some find that understanding in solitude. Some find it through connection. Some in words, others in silence. Life doesn't need to be performed to be real. Happiness doesn't need proof to exist. And growth doesn't need an audience. It only needs awareness. So, if you're one of those quiet souls who rarely posts, know this: your silence doesn't make you unseen. Your stillness doesn't make you irrelevant. You are living your story, even if no one double taps it. And if you're someone who shares your life openly, that's your truth too. Because vulnerability is also strength, and connection is a beautiful thing. There is no single right way to exist in the digital world. There is only your way, and it's enough. Thank you for listening until the end. If this episode helped you understand yourself better, and you'd like to share it with someone who never posts their personal life online and might be struggling to express themselves, don't forget to follow this podcast. We'll keep growing, quietly, deeply, and together.